South Florida. Sunny days and busy nightlife are what people who visit the southern region of the Sunshine State can describe it as. But to residents who have grown up here, they instead see a population increase at a trend they have never seen before. In Miami-Dade County alone, the most populous county in Florida, has a current population roughly of 2.7 million people. While the population went down by 0.02% from 2020 to 2023, residents are still noticing a change.
I always envisioned myself moving out around this time, so it's also been very disappointing that hasn't been able to happen because of the financial situation. Yeah.
Natalie Gutierrez has lived in Miami her whole life, living in a single-parent household after her mother moved from Colombia just before she was born. She has always known about having to work hard, sometimes a little too hard.
Not knowing if we would have enough money to cover that, right? And so I know that took a toll on her because she's my mom. She wants to provide for me and fend for me, but that wasn't always feasible growing up.
Natalie works 2 part-time jobs, one as a writing tutor at Florida International University and the other as an after-school care counselor at her local elementary school.
Especially for my K-8 job, my after-school job, it can be very draining emotionally and sometimes even physically, having to run after little kids all the time. So I do wish that I was maybe working elsewhere. I do love working with kids and I do like working in an educational environment, but I think just when you talk about the toll that it can take on you, especially working 2 part-time jobs, I sometimes wish I maybe just had one job and I was again working somewhere else, but yeah.
This change is having the residents look for a second job in order to make up for the cost of living here in Miami. But how does this affect them mentally and physically? Alba Moro moved to South Florida from Spain to continue her higher education studies at Florida International University as a full-time student. With this, she's also working at the university as a resident assistant and full-time as a public relations coordinator.
It's honestly exhausting because so many times I have to miss hang out with my friends or FIU events because I'm on duty most of the weekends or during the week.
Working multiple jobs is not the ideal living here in South Florida, but that is what residents have had to sacrifice in order to make ends meet. But at what cost is that to them? Work burnout is a technical term for this problem here in South Florida. As defined by the World Health Organization, is a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. But this phenomenon is not only happening here in South Florida.
From nationwide to locally, some workers are forced to choose between getting by on one job or maintaining their lifestyles with 2 or more.
Meanwhile, more Americans are working multiple
2
jobs.
or 3 jobs.
Multiple full-time jobs.
Found to be working multiple jobs.
Multiple jobs.
Working 2 or more jobs has reached its highest level since the pandemic began.
With this becoming a nationwide issue, we must ask the question on how this is affecting the workers' mental health. Board-certified psychiatrist Yesenia Kuan has her own practice. She sees patients from the age of 20 to 50 years old.
The fact that you need to handle everything in just such a short period of time is really challenging. And also the pressure that the students have from the virtual life, from all the social media, to try to be part of a team or the society, so that becomes really challenging. So there is a lot of things going on at the same time, and how they manage the stress, that could be a hassle for them.
I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. I don't have energy to work out. That's out the window. I'm so upset.
That we have to go to work 5 to 6 to 7 days a week to barely afford to eat.
Work burnout can not only cause stress, but irritability, insomnia, energy depletion, reduced efficiency, and depression. With symptoms like these, it is easy to have it affect your relationship with other people, says Kuan.
Let's say that you are just burnt out and you will start experiencing anxiety symptoms. You may start experiencing anxiety symptoms or depressive symptoms. Irritability is a great word. So if you are irritable, that's gonna affect how you react and how you connect with your family, with your friends.
And so while the residents get a second job to help pay the bills at their current home, not many others have the ability to continue staying where they live. Ashley Vivas has a passion for singing. It's what she loves to do. And Miami is a city of arts and culture, she says. She currently has 3 part-time jobs at the moment and shares an apartment.
It's 1,000, and it's actually cheap because at first they wanted to charge me 1,300, but because it was a friend of mine, she asked the owner if she could like leave it a little bit cheaper, so they said yes.
Unfortunately, she was just fired from one of her main sources of income. And in the state of Florida, an employer is allowed to fire or demote for any reason or no reason at all.
The routine, like every day the same thing I have to do, every day the same schedule, every day the same wake up, go to work, stay there, go back, go to sleep. The fact that I had to come back the next day to do the same thing, it was like lowering my everything, my motivation, my energy, my everything. So I could sleep 8 hours, but still be sleepy at my job.
Now she's moving to Homestead, 38 miles away from the busy city of Miami, to live with her sister due to the increase of rent that will start in April, where she will keep her original monthly price of $1,000 per month, but sacrifices the driving time it takes to get to Miami.
Everybody knows Miami is a very artsy city and a lot of opportunities for entertainment or music, art, everything. So I feel like I should keep fighting, like why not? I could stay here. But if I didn't have that dream, I feel like I'd be already gone.
That is a reality of many of those who live here, and the sacrifice many of those that are willing to take it. But there could be a light at the end of the tunnel, as Dr. Kwan believes there's a way to help overcome burnout.
Burnout is a process, so it's something that starts to build up. So just to be more aware of what's going on, how is maybe how your work environment is changing, how is that reflecting in your life, but not to wait until the last moment, and just to be aware of it's more being present. I think that if we will be more on the present and less on the future or in the past, we will be able to manage stress in a better way.
As for Alba Moro, she was luckily able to secure an apartment by Biscayne Boulevard for a hefty price of $1,700 a month for a shared apartment.
I started to look for housing like this month, and I noticed that most of the rooms for like 1 or 2 people, they're like around 1,500 to the 2,000. So that's really pushing me to, I need actually to get like a job that pays well to be able to afford housing and living in Miami.
And as for Natalie Gutierrez, while she gets to have the opportunity to start her master's degree in the fall, even after, she is not sure what the future holds for her.
I'm very fortunate that I was offered like graduate assistantship, so that comes with a part-time job, so I can receive a stipend. So that will be my like other job when I start my master's. So I'll keep FIU. I won't be working at the after-school program anymore after the school year.